We come to know our surroundings through our five senses. If it were not for our sense organs, we would not know of anything. We would not even know of ourselves. We would not walk, find out anything, do anything, eat, drink, or live. We would not have parents, nor would we exist. If we think our Allah ceaselessly only for our sense organs, still we have not expressed adequate gratitude. We call anything which affects our sense organs being or existence. Sand, water, the sun are all beings for which we see. Sound is a being too, for we hear it. Air is a being because we feel the air strike when we open our hand and wave it like a fan. Also the wind strikes our face. Likewise, cold and hot are beings, for we feel them through our skin. Moreover, we believe in the existence of energies, powers such as electricity, heat, and magnetism. We perceive and comprehend that electric currents cause heat, electromagnetism, and chemical reactions. When heat occurs, the temperature rises, and when it decreases, it gets cold. We also understand that a magnet attracts iron. We say that it is wrong to say, I don't believe in the existence of air, heat, or electricity because I don't see them. Although they are not seen, we perceive them or their effects through our sense organs. Therefore, we believe in many beings that we cannot see. We say that these things are not necessarily non-existent because they are not seen. By the same token, it is wrong to say, I don't believe in Allah. There are no such things as angels or genies. I would see them if they existed. Since I don't see them, I don't believe them. It is a statement contrary to mind and science. As shown by science, beings that have weight and volume are called substances. Accordingly, air, water, stone, and wood are substances. Light and electric currents are beings, yet they are not substances. Substances with shapes are called objects. A nail, a shovel, pincers, and a pen are objects. They are all made of the same substance, iron. The cause that makes a stationary object move or that makes a moving object stop or that changes its movement is called force. Unless a force acts on a stationary object, it remains stationary. It cannot move. Unless a force acts on a moving object, its movement does not change. It never stops. Substances, objects, and energies existing in substances altogether are called alam, or nature. Every object in nature continuously moves, changes. This means that every object is affected by various forces every moment. Thus, a change takes place. The change that takes place in substances is called an event. We see that some things cease to exist while other things come into being. Our ancestors, ancient people, as well as their buildings and cities, ceased to exist. And after us, others will come into being. According to scientific knowledge, there are forces affecting these tremendous changes. Those who deny Allah Ta'ala say, these are all done by nature. Everything is created by the forces of nature. If we ask them, have the parts of an automobile been brought together by the forces of nature? Have they been heaped together like a pile of rubbish, which has been brought together by flowing water with the effects of waves striking from this direction and that? Does a car move with the exertion of the forces of nature? Will they not smile and say, of course, it is impossible? A car is a work of art which a number of people have built by working together strenuously and by using all their mental abilities to design it. A car is operated by a driver who drives it carefully, using his mind and obeying the traffic rules. Likewise, every being in nature is also a work of art. A leaf is an astounding factory. A grain of sand or a living cell is an exhibition of fine art, which science has explored to only a small extent today. What we boast about as a scientific finding and accomplishment today is the result of being able to see and copy a few of these fine arts in nature. Even Darwin, the British scientist, whom Islam's adversaries present as their leader, had to admit, whenever I think of the structure of the eye, I feel as if I will go mad. Could a person who would not admit that a car is made by chance, by the forces of nature, say that nature has created this universe, which is entirely a work of art? Of course, he could not. Should he not believe that it has been made by a creator who has calculation, design, knowledge, and infinite power? Is it not ignorance and idiocy to say nature has created it, or it has come into being by chance? Allah Ta'ala created everything in the best form and for the most useful purposes. For example, He created this spherical Earth 150 million kilometers away from the Sun. If He had created it at a distance longer than this, there would have been no warm seasons, and we would have died from the cold. If He had created it at a distance shorter than this, it would have been very hot. As a result, no living creatures would have been able to exist. The air around us is a mixture of 21% oxygen, 78% nitrogen, and 0.0003 carbon dioxide. Oxygen comes into our cells, burns the food there so as to provide power and strength for us. If the amount of oxygen in the air had been more than this, our cells would have been burned by the oxygen too. As a result, we would have become ashes. If its percentage had been less than 21, it would not have been adequate enough to burn the food in our cells, and there again would have been no living creatures. During rainy and thunderous days, oxygen mixes with nitrogen, and nitrogenous salts are formed in the sky. They fall to the earth with the rain. They feed the plants. Plants are food for animals, and animals are food for human beings. Therefore, it is understood that our sustenance is produced in the sky and rains down from there. The carbon dioxide in the air stimulates the centers of the heart and breathing in the cerebellum. That is, it makes them work. When the amount of carbon dioxide in the air becomes less, our hearts will stop, and we will not be able to breathe. On the other hand, if its percentage increases, we will choke. The amount of carbon dioxide in the air should never be changed. In order to keep it in the same consistency, He created the seas. When the amount of carbon dioxide in the air increases, its pressure increases too, and the excessive amounts are dissolved in the seas. After uniting with the carbonate in the water, it is converted into biocarbonate. This goes down under the sea and forms a layer of mud there. When the amount of carbon dioxide decreases in the air, it leaves the mud, passes in the water, and then passes from water into the air. No living creature can live without air. That's why air is given to every living creature everywhere free of charge without any effort and sent into their lungs. We cannot live without water either. He created water everywhere too. But since it is possible to live without water for some time, it's been created in a way that forces people to look for it and then to carry it away. Fatabarakallahu ahsanal khaliqin. 14th ayat of Surah Al-Mu'mineen. Quote, there is no resemblance of those who say they create to the exaltedness of Allah Ta'ala. End quote. Aside from man's ability to utilize those facts above, how fortunate for them to be able to see and to understand them.